recommendations for the top 10 must-visit attractions in Beijing, China. The first place in the top 10 scenic spots to come to Beijing in China. Forbidden City, old, called Forbidden City. There are 24 emperors of the Ming Dynasty and the Qing Dynasty living here. It is the World Cultural Heritage identified by the United Nations. When visiting the Forbidden City, you can go to Tiananmen Square first. The head of the government in China feel the taste of China. Second place, altar. If Tiananmen is a symbol of China, then the heaven is the symbol of Beijing, China. It is considered to be the most beautiful classical building in China. Third place, it would be talking what is the Summer Palace, Liyuan, Hummel Administrator's Garden, and Summer Via are also known as the four famous gardens in China. Fourth place, Beiduing Great Wall. It is the essence of the Great Wall. The 13 mausoleum of the Ming Dynasty. It is also the World Cultural Heritage. There are 13 imperial residences in the Ming Dynasty buried here. Sixth place, Prince Gong's mansion. This is the mansion of China's richest man and gentry in the 18th century. Later, Prince Gong Yixin became its master. The so-called Gomlong mansion, the history of the Qing dynasty. The seventh person, the North Sea. When rowing here, you can hum the song that Chinese circulating in China. Let's paddle together. Eighth place, Bird's Nest and Water Cube. Here, the opening ceremony of the two Olympic Games in Beijing, China, was held in the Bird's Nest. Nanmugushan experience old Beijing's Hutan culture. 10th, discuss the situation. If you are bringing children, you can visit the campus of Tsinghua and Peking University. There is also the Zhouku store, Beijing Eatman site mentioned in the historical textbook, and the ruins of the Yuanmingyuan burning in the war. In addition, there are more than 200 museums, including Guobo China. Very worth taking the child to go take a look. If autumn comes, you can enjoy red leaves not far from Beijing. You can go to Shangshan Park. You can go to the waterfall of the waterfall. If you want to experience thrilling and exciting play items, that must be Beijing Universal Studios. But its ticket costs are relatively high. If it exceeds the budget, going to Beijing Happy Valley is also a good choice. If you want to go out at night in Beijing, you can consider going to watch the drama happily, or go to dance society to listen to cross talk. If you are a young man, you can go to 7 or 98 during the day, a place with a strong artistic atmosphere. In the evening, you can go to Sanlitun, or the bar in Huhai and Shichahai. In addition, if you brought the old man, you can visit Yonga Palace. In the evening, you can go to the Cheongnam Theater to listen to Peking opera. How many World Heritage sites are there in Beijing, China? How many World Heritage in Beijing, China? The number of World Heritage in China has reached 56. Second only to Italy, ranking the second place in the world. Among them, the capital of the Chinese capital, Beijing, is where the capital of Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties is located. Therefore, a large number of historical relic buildings have been left. Among them, 7 items were included in the World Cultural Heritage. They are respectively Wanli Great Wall. Wanli Great Wall is a symbol of China. Among them, the best section of quality preservation is in Beijing, China. Among them, the more famous ones include the Daling Great Wall, Zhuyangguan Great Wall, Mutianyu Great Wall, etc. And myself, a Beijing Forbidden City. It is the royal palace of the Ming and Qing dynasties of China. Ancient, called Forbidden City, with French Palace, Buckingham Palace in the United Kingdom, the White House, and the Kremlin of Russia. It is also known as the world's 5 major palaces. And then Zhoukao Temple, Beijing People Site. In the 1930s, the archaeological team has discovered the skins of multiple Beijingers, one after another, here. Shock the academic world of the world. Unfortunately, the whereabouts are unknown so far. Become a century suspension and great regret in the Chinese archaeological world. Fourth, the Summer Palace, found in the 15th year of Qianlong in the Qing dynasty, located in the western suburbs of Beijing, with Chengde Summer Hill Suzhou Humble Administrator's Garden and Suzhou Lu Garden, are also known as the 4 famous gardens in China. Fifth, Temple of Heaven, located in the Palace of the Forbidden City. The area is very large. It's 4 times the Forbidden City. It is the largest existing ancient sacrifice building in China. Among them, the prayer hall is considered to be the most beautiful classical building in China. It is one of the symbols of Beijing. 613 tombs located in Changping District, Beijing. From the Ming Chengzu Sai to the monarch of the dead country to Sina, Zhu Yuqian. A total of 13 Ming emperors were buried. Among them, Shengling and Dingling are open to the outside world. Chenling Voltella, its owner is Emperor Yongle Shi. The owner of Dingling is Emperor Wanling. It's the emperor who is very strange and not in the dynasty for 30 years. 7, the Beijing Hangzhou Grand Canal. It is the longest ancient canal in the world. There are 2 sections of river channels and 3 inheritance points in the Beijing section selected as World Heritage. This is the 7 World Cultural Heritage of Beijing. Beijing, China has 6 ring road highways, colloquially referred to as the 7th ring. Beijing, China is currently the only oversized city in China to have 7 high-speed roads on the city. Beijing's urban layout is like a huge spider web. Large ring set. 7 rings have been formed now. But on the map, you will find that the innermost one is the 2nd ring. So where is the ring line? Speaking of a ring line, there are 2 main claims. The first is the connection of Tiananmen, Xiananmen, and Dong'anmen. In addition to Tiananmen, the other 3 doors were dismantled at the beginning of the founding of the country. Therefore, this statement symbolizes significance, then practical significance. Another statement is in the 1950s. The lines passed by 4 ring-shaped cars are the 1 ring line. However, none of these 2 claims have been officially confirmed 32 kilometers in length in Beijing's 2nd ring, cleansed to traffic in 1992. At the same time, the ring subway is also built underground. That is Beijing Metro Line 2. The Beijing 2nd ring road is the first urban ring road in China with a full blocking, full-handed crossing, and no traffic lights. There is an ancient capital in 1 ring line. The 2nd ring line is the capital. There are many office buildings of Chinese government departments and headquarters of state-owned enterprise. Even if foreign cars have applied for a license to enter, Beijing can't enter the 2nd ring line, Beijing 3rd ring road, 48 kilometers in length. In my East 3rd ring road is Beijing's central business district. CCTV building, Big Pants, and Beijing's highest building in China are here. Beijing 4 ring, 65 kilometers in length. Among them, the North 4th ring road passes through the core area of the Olympic Park. Bird's Nest and Water Cube are nearby. The song in Beijing, because of Yue Yunpeng Song is still widely sung. When it was initially completed, it was a highway around the city. It is necessary to charge. The total length is 98 kilometers. The charge was canceled in 2004. Changed to urban fast road. Beijing Sixth Ring Road is 187 kilometers in length. It is currently Beijing's Ring Expressway, open in 2009. The scope of the restrictions to apply for the Beijing certificate is within the Sixth Ring. If you drive outside the Sixth Ring Road or on the Sixth Ring Road, no need to apply for a certificate in Beijing. The Beijing Seventh Ring is a larger and longer mileage. A Beijing Ring Expressway, also charged 940 kilometers long. Among them, 890 kilometers in Hebei, 50 kilometers in Beijing. The entire Beijing Seventh Ring Road is more than 300 kilometers greater than the highway in Hainan province, living in the first place in the domestic detachment, high speed. This is Beijing's current 7-ring city highways. Recommendations for 5A level scenic spots in Beijing, China. How many 5A level scenic spots in Beijing, China? The so-called 5,000 years of history depends on Xi'an. 1,000 years of history to see Beijing. Beijing is the capital of Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties. Therefore, Beijing has rich tourism resources. There are 8 5A level scenic spots in the Chinese city ranking, second only to Chongqing. Second place, there are 11 places in Chongqing, China, but the area of Chongqing city is 82,400 square kilometers, after all, equivalent to the volume of a province. And Chongqing's 5A level scenic spot is very scattered. There is no 5A level scenic spot in the main city area, and the 5A level scenic spot in Beijing is not only the large number, and it is also very concentrated. There are 6 in the urban area. The Beijing Forbidden City, who lives in the Ming and Qing Emperor. At present, my country's largest sacrifice, architectural altar, Royal Gardens Summer Palace, Heater and Prince Gong's mansion, Gong Wang Mansion, Olympic Park, where the bird's nest and water Kiddick hues are located. The reputation of the Garden of Wanyuan was later burned in Yuanling Yuan. There are 2 suburbs. They are 13 tombs with 13 Ming emperors buried. The best quality of the Great Wall. Also the essence, Bedaling Mutian Great Wall. Beijing, China's two major airports, Capital Airport versus Daxing Airport. What are the differences between two airports in Beijing, China? Only three cities in China have dual airports. They are Shanghai, Beijing, and Chengdu. Today, we will compare two airports in Beijing, China. They are all 4F airports with the highest flight level. First of all, the distance from the center of Beijing, the capital airport is about 30 kilometers from the city center. Opened the Metro Capital Airport line, and Daxing Airport is about 50 kilometers away from Tiananmen. You can reach the Daxing Airport line at 19 minutes. At the Kaohsiung Metro Station, navigation time, the navigation time of the Capital Airport is 1958. T1 terminal was completed in 1980. T2 terminal built in 1999. Terminal T3 was completed in 2008. In that year, Beijing successfully held the Olympic Games. It has been 15 years so far, and Daxing Airport is relatively new. That it was talking about. It is the gift project of the 70th anniversary of China National Day. Besides, Capital Airport is located in the northeast of the urban area. The entire airport is in Beijing. Daxing Airport is different. We can see through the map whether it is a comprehensive building in the north, still the 5 corridors in the south. The entire terminal of Phoenix Wings is completely built on the site of Langfang, Hebei. So you send a WeChat circle of friends at Daxing Airport in Beijing. It is very likely to display the position. You are in Langfang, Hebei. Besides throughput, the Beijing Capital Airport set up a 100 million passenger throughput in 2019 before the epidemic, ranking the world in the world. However, in 2022, it is affected by various factors, such as the epidemic situation. Its throughput is only 12.7 million. The ranking in China has fallen to 10 openings, and there are fewer. Daxing Airport, only 10.88 million. But with the end of the epidemic, 2023, I believe that the two airports will definitely come back in Dongshan, King's Return. Finally, talk about the terminal and runway. There are 3 terminals at Beijing Capital Airport. The total area of 1.41 million square meters. There are 3 runway. There's only 1 terminal at Beijing Daxing Airport, an area of 780,000 square meters. The runway is currently for. May I ask friends who come to Beijing to travel, which airport do you prefer? The destination is reachable by expressway from Beijing, China. The high speed from Beijing is radiation shaped. Seven, the naming method is G plus a digit order. Start from north to start clockwise. G1, Peking Harbin Highway, Beijing to Harbin, Tujing, Tianjin, Hebei, Heiji, G, Liaoning City, 1,290 kilometers in length. G2, Beijing and Shanghai high speed. Beijing to Shanghai, and all connected to the two largest super cities in China. 1,262 kilometers in length. G3, Dingtai Expressway. Beijing to Taipei. The design is 30 kilometers in length. At present, 10 kilometers on the mainland have been completely completed. And the tunnel and bridge that crosses the Taiwan Strait is no longer a problem. The key is the willingness of Taiwan. G4, Beijing, Hong Kong, and Macau, high speed, Beijing to Hong Kong and Macau. After Shijiazhuang, Zhengzhou, Wuhan, Changsha, Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and many other big cities, all 2285 kilometers. G5, Beijing, Kunming Expressway, Beijing to Kunming, from the North China Plain to the Yunnan Guizhou Plateau, 2,065 kilometers in length. G6, Beijing Tibet high speed. Beijing to Lhasa, 3,718 kilometers in length. Among them, the average altitude of the Song section is above 4,500 meters. It is the highest altitude highway in the world. G7, Jingxin high speed. Beijing to Urumqi. This is a high speed across the desert and uninhabited. 24 kilometers in length. Interesting facts about Beijing, China. The central axis is skewed. Do you know the central axis of Beijing is crooked? Yes, you have read it wrong. In terms of Beijing's central axis, the three main halls of the Forbidden City must be passed through the Forbidden City. Even the Emperor's dragon chair must be placed on the central axis. And it is actually crooked in Nanyang Dingmen. If it is Zhengnan Zhengbei, it should be shown in the blue line in the video. But in fact, the south is from Yongbingmen, this straight line connected by 2 points from the north to the bell and drum tower. That is the red straight line in the video It crooked twice in the direction of northwest. Map enlargement, and then enlarging, you will find that the entire palace, Forbidden City, in Tiananmen Square are also crooked. What is going on? Maybe many people will think. Although Yuan, Ming, and Qing dynasties are the three, feudal dynasties closest to us, but after all, it is also ancient. Therefore, errors will inevitably occur during measurement. But this explanation is not convincing. You must know that Xi'an's foundation is longer and longer than Beijing. But when you open the map of Shan, you will find that the main streets can really be said to be horizontal and vertical. Inappropriate, including the Dame Palace of the Tang Dynasty. The central axis is also Zhennan, Zhengbei. Then why does Beijing make such a low-level mistake? The reason, you could say, divergent opinions. There are several ways to say one statement, look at the old capital. The Yuan dynasty Kublai Khan moved from the top to the capital. That is Beijing. The location where the Shangdu is located is the address of a little bit west in Beijing, Zhengbei. Someone made a rough measurement. It extends 270 kilometers north of the Beijing central axis to the north. Just go through the site where the original capital is located. But later, some experts made a refined measurement. Discover the middle axis extends north, can't be able to pass through the original business capital, but it is also very close, only 5 kilometers of error. This error is based on ancient measurement level, actually understandable to 7. The Minister of Baha nationality intends to do it. The Yuan dynasty was a minority regime established by the Mongolian ethnic group and implement a strict ethnic hierarchy system. The status of the Han people is not high. However, the host of the Yuan dynasty palace happened to be the Han ministers Liu Beizhong and Guo Shoujing. They naturally don't want the Yuan dynasty to rivers Yonggu society. Therefore, I have crooked the middle axis. 3, according to mythology, it is said that when the son-in-law was supplemented by the sky, for Tianzhu was established. However, it was later touched by the water god co-working. So the sky tilted towards the northwest, and the heavens are the symbol of the emperor. The emperor is the emperor. Therefore, the place where the emperor lives. The palace should also be tilted in the northwest. There are many ways to say about the central axis, but to this day, the official has never given a reasonable explanation. And at present, this central axis is still extending to the south to north. It extends north to Olympic Park, where the bird's nest and water cube are located. And Beijing's central axis is declared World Cultural Heritage. It is expected to be approved in 2024. UNESCO reviews the history of Beijing, China's tallest buildings, history of changing the world's tallest building in China. A total of 10 buildings are known as Beijing's tallest building. The first is Tianning Temple Tower. The height is 57.8 meters from 1949 to 1954. Was the highest building in Beijing. The second is the Beijing Exhibition Hall. Height is 87 meters. From 1954 to 1959. It is the first height in Beijing. The third is the Military Museum, one of the top 10 buildings in Beijing. Height is 94.5 meters. From 1959 to 1985, occupying Beijing's first height position for 26 years. The fourth is CCTV in 1985. The Beijing skyline is refreshed at a height of 136 meters. To this end, the tallest building in Beijing finally broke through the 100-meter mark. The fifth is the first period of Beijing international trade, constructed in 1989. Height is 155 meters, but it only stayed in the position of the tallest building for only 1 year. Is a short-lived building king. The sixth is the Beijing Guangzhou Center, which was completed in 1990. It was the first skyscraper in China at that time in China. The height reached 207.9 meters from 1990 to 2006. The Beijing Guangzhou Center has been the tallest building in Beijing for 16 years. The seventh is the Beijing TV Center, built in 2006, 236.4 meters. But it is just a flash of flame. After just 1 year, I was surpassed by the main building of Intime Center. The height of Yintai Center reached 249.95 meters, because the buildings along the Chongming Street are highly controlled, can't exceed 250 meters. Ninth, Beijing International Trade 3 in 2008. Height exceeds 300 meters. Come to 330 meters. 10 years after that, the first tallest building in Beijing has always been controlled by the third phase of China. The 10th is the central building. 2018, the height suddenly increased to 528 meters. It also has a name called China Zone. Now, the country has strict restrictions on ultra high buildings of more than 500 meters. Therefore, it may be in the future for a long time. The status of Chinese Zone as the tallest building in Beijing is not shaken. From 1949 to 2023, from more than 50 meters to more than 500 meters. The historical changes of the tallest building in Beijing have also witnessed China's high-speed development from another aspect. How many railway stations are there within the fifth ring of Beijing, China? People who travel to Beijing, China, want to know that there are several railway stations in the urban area. It is said that there are 56 large and small railway stations in Beijing. That today we only talk about the urban area. That is the passenger train station within the fifth ring. There is only one train station within the second ring, is Beijing Station. The station code is 1001. Level is a special station located in Dongqing district, near the East Second Ring Road, only 3 kilometers away from Tiananmen Square. Main building, constructed in 1959. It was one of the top 10 buildings in Beijing that year. Construction area of 71,000 square meters. Most trains driving to the northeast and the direction of East China start at the station. The size of the station is 8 platforms, 16 train tracks. There are 3 railway stations within the Third Ring Road. They are Beijing West Railway Station, located in the West Third Ring Road of Fengtai District. 7 kilometers from Tiananmen Square, in 1996, put into use. The building area is 700,000 square meters. Is a giant noise. The main building is very Chinese characteristic. The new landmark of Beijing. The scale of the station is 10 platforms, but 20 train tracks. There are more than 180 million passengers, annual transportation passengers. It is the largest passenger volume in Beijing. The trains from Beijing West Station are driving to the western region. For example, Urumqi, Lanzhou, Xi'an, and other places. They're also driving to the southwest region. For example, Chengdu, Chongqing, Kunming, and other places. There are also the Beijing-Guangzhou line to the south, Guangzhou and Wuhan, Changsha, Guangzhou, and the eventually Beijing South Station is located south of South Second Ring Road in Fengtai District, 6 kilometers away from Tiananmen Square. Pushed in 2008. The construction area of 730,000 square meters. It's too big, so that Beijing South Station is nicknamed Beijing South Station. The scale is 24 track. Most of China's high-speed rail lines are losing money. Only one profit line is the Beijing Shanghai line. The Beijing South Station is the starting station of the Beijing Shanghai line. There are more than 150 million passengers, annual transportation passengers. Passenger traffic is second only to Beijing West Station, Beijing North Railway Station in 2019, and upgrade located outside the northwest of Xicheng district. It is the starting point of the Beijing Zheng Dynasty Railway and the Jingbao Railway. All the high-speed rail trains are currently opened. No green leather train. Passengers who go to Zhangjiakou, Hebei, and Hohhot, Inner Mongolia, and Baotou can take a car from here. The construction area of the station is about 21,000 square meters. The scale of the station is 11 orbit lines on 6 platforms. There are 2 stations within the 4th ring. They are Beijing East Station in terms of name. You may think it should be the same as Beijing West Station and Beijing South Railway Station. Also a large station, and it is located in the inside of the East 4th Ring Road, Beijing CBD, which is close to the high-rise building. In theory, this station should be a tall ceiling. However, the actual situation may make you a shock. It was built in 1938, is an old-fashioned train station. The position is quite hidden. No restaurant, no supermarket, no shared bicycle, no parking lot. The size of the railway station is very small. There are only 2 trains, all green cars. Basically, they are short distance transportation. Beijing Fengtai Station is located outside the 3rd ring of the Southwest. June 2022, the transformation and upgrading of Fengtai Station is open to traffic. The construction area of the station building is 400,000 square meters. The scale of the station is 32 orbit lines on 17 platforms. There are general speeds here. There are also high-speed rail trains. There is 1 station within the 5th ring. That is Beijing Chaoyang Station, located between the East 4th Ring Road and the East 5th Ring Road. My put in 2021. The building area is 180,000 square meters. The scale of the station is 15 orbit lines on 7 platforms, mainly undertake transportation tasks that open to the northeast and the direction of Chengde. This is the 7-seater railway station within the 5th ring of Beijing.